Muhadi has been asking to step down. He's terminally ill. If he steps down, he's replaced by PV Sibanda, General Sibanda, who is Mnangagwa's relative. A lot of people in Zimbabwe think that, he's bringing in Ndebele vice president. He's not Ndebele, he's Karanga. So he comes in as VP, and Tagwire comes in as family from what we're hearing. He's got one of his sons who's a deputy finance minister. He's got another son who's in the military, who's now one of his close security aides. So we don't know yet, but what we know for a fact is that Tagwire is being brought in. And myself and Newshawks, we wrote about this some months ago. When he comes in, that's the end of the general, because all the avenues would have been closed. And so the general and his people have to plan, and their plans have to be immediate. Emmerson Mnangagwa is daring. He doesn't hesitate to make a decision, as we saw with General Sanyatwa. The demise of the general started years ago. It started when Emmerson Mnangagwa removed the running mate clause. The running mate clause is the one that was meant to protect could not be fired. But the vice presidents, or the two vice presidents of the country, are going to be, or after that running mate clause was removed, are now appointed at the pleasure of the president. So he can fire Chiwenga today and damn the consequences. If Chiwenga doesn't fight back, that's the end of him. So I think that's where we are, and it's important to acknowledge that, as although a lot of people were saying that Geza failed on Monday, in my view, in my political world, I don't see it as failure. He managed to push Mnangagwa to his second scenario of not violating the constitution. Thanks, Angojet.
Right. Thank you very much, for that. Because, there's a document that I received some weeks ago. It was a lengthy, document that spoke to the 2030 agenda. That says that, we are miscalculating, this agenda. This agenda is not all about Emmerson Mnangagwa extending, his power. But it is an agenda that is geared towards the capturing of ZANU-PF as a political party, because already the government is already captured by these, Juganandas, the likes of Kodakwasi, Tagwire, and stuff like that. So, but it was geared towards creating a path that enables the likes of Tagwire to come in, such that, there's going to be that consolidation of power on the side of Emmerson Mnangagwa. Even if it fails, by bringing these people in, these people are coming in now to actually take control of everything. So by pushing Emmerson Mnangagwa to go to 2030, it was designed to just facilitate this thing. But at the end of the day, it is not merely depending on Emmerson Mnangagwa having gone to 2030, but it is it is about the events that are happening now, because these are the events that are being put in place to shape, the future. So the coming in of Kodakwasi Tagwire into politics and the kind of political language that is now spewing, it speaks to a gentleman who is now ready to take the political stage, to be a decisive player politically, and to be a player that works towards the consolidation of whatever gains that these guys have amassed over the years. So yeah, it is quite interesting, and to read about these events, to see these events playing out in real time, because people never imagined that you could see the likes of Tagwire being brought into the fold and occupying positions politically. But these are events that are happening in real time, and they are speaking to the creation of this dynasty, the one that you've spoken about, And we are seeing this through this strategic repositioning, of people. This doesn't have the Zimbabwean people at the center of everything, but it has a select few, those few who are enjoying, who are benefiting. It is all about them, and they are looking at this as a long-term, project, and they are looking at this as something that is going to be for the foreseeable, future, and hence we are seeing these movements, taking place.
Yeah, I mean, the issue of a dynasty has been reported extensively. I think Newswalks is written about it. Zim Live, they've written about it. But there's a guy on social media called Majiros. I think Majiros, who has talked about it for years. And the problem with us as a people, we don't pay attention when things are being said. We're easily excitable about other things that are happening. But this issue, Mnangagwa is a serious schemer. He did not become president by accident. He planned for decades for this. It goes back to the 80s. And this is what General Chiwenga doesn't have. He misses that. The fact that he's an army man, he's a soldier, and is dealing with a politician who was a spy, and who boasts about it, that he knows what's going on. He's a schemer, so he plans ahead of time. When he was removing the when he made sure that the Chief Justice term limit was removed, he was planning for a time like this. When he removed the presidential running mate clause, he was planning for a time like this. But the general was just sitting there. And whenever we mentioned these things, we were told, "Oh, he will do something about it. He's an army man. He's got the army." But as we have been saying, I said it a week ago, that if he removes Sanyatwa, that's the end of the game. In as far as the army is concerned, from where we are seeing it or where we are sitting, and that happened. And when that happened, Mchangwa came yesterday to confirm that, look, this is what we're doing. All the other guys, I call them the political puppies that are shouting about 2030. They are shouting for their supper. They want a space on the feeding trough. President Mnangagwa is very serious when he plans these things, because you see, he puts people that he has relationships with. If you are not Karanga, if you're not from Masvingo or Midlands, you either have a relationship of some sort with him, business, personal, or something, like people like Garwe, who's the former Selous Scout guy and is founding people that fought during the liberation struggle. Yeah, so let me step down and allow others to speak.
Oppo, just a quick
Right.
question. Sorry. So, do you, according to your knowledge, was there that gentleman agreement between ED and Chiwenga that he would take over, as people always say? Do you think there was ever that agreement between the two?
Mnangagwa categorically said there was no agreement that he will spend a first term. He rolled over into the second term, and the natural thing was for Chiwenga to then take over. But Mnangagwa has shown how ruthless he is. He doesn't care. He doesn't keep promises. And Chiwenga, I'm writing my book.
Right.
There are a lot of
Guys, can we move over to to the address?